Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I'd like to show you what I did in Azure Peaks. I used, there's two versions of this neighborhood that I've made available for download if you're interested, and it's no CC, although obviously now that I've played it I've used my own custom content, but the versions you can download would be CC free. So I used the townhouse version. You get one with apartments in as well. And I would like to give you a little tour of what happened after 5 in-game years. So if you don't know where we start from, it might be easier to watch the beginning of the playlist that I will add this video to. So I'm going to assume that you know, all right? As you can see, it got much fuller, and some new houses have been built. I've had some new families move in. Not many, I think about one large family did move in. And I've also added a university, which is something I'm building from scratch, to this neighborhood now that I'm playing it, because my teens all went off to university. So yeah, there's been some drama there. Let's get straight into the families. I'm sure you're very eager to see. So we'll start with the Blunders family over here. And it started off with Mikey and Una, who live in a trailer with loads of kids. These two boys were toddlers when I started the game. And they had an older sister who was a teenager, but she is now in college, university. And this daughter of theirs is still a child, although she's close to becoming a teenager. And they've since had one more little baby who is now a toddler. Okay, so that's the basics. For them, their trailer hasn't changed much, maybe here and there. But yeah, that's them. I've updated their bio. It says, Mikey and Una are very happy in spite of the fact that they're not as well off financially, and the trailer is a bit cramped for the size of their family. Now that Danny has moved out to university, there's a bit more space. Hopefully the cars Mikey fixes continue to sell well. So, yeah, my whole idea behind it is that his wife doesn't work, and he's supporting the family by fixing cars. He's fixed up some cars that they're driving now, and he's busy fixing more. So yeah, that's a interesting situation over there. Their eldest daughter, Dani, wasn't very happy with her living circumstances, so we'll get to see her at uni now that she's on her own 2 feet and making a name and a life for herself. So when you start off, you also have some friends, some roomies who live in one of these townhouses together. And one of them has since gotten married to a townie that I created, a custom one of my townies. This is Britt. And she got married to Randy Esteban. And they had one little boy, Brinkley. And then they had 4 babies. I do play recently, actually, with a mod where you can have quads. And this is one family where I tried it out. Oh, the craziness that ensued. So they now have little Brittany, they have Bill, they have Russell, and they have Bobby Esteban. And yeah, they're a happy family though. He is a criminal, and Britt is in the law career, so it's kind of a conflict of interest, and she doesn't know that he is busy with some shady dealings. So yeah, the bubble will still burst. I haven't let it yet. You know, is he going to give it up, or what's going to happen? Because if they do split up and one parent has to raise all these kids, that will not be a joke. So this is a house that I built recently. So I think when you start off, there's a house here, but this one didn't exist, if I remember correctly, or there was something smaller and I changed it. Anyhow, so this is a new addition. Okay, we'll go through. Perhaps I should show you who's left living in these townhouses. So these two are now empty. The Summers family lived in one when you start off, and they are still living there. They have had one child in this 5 years, because you start off with their son being a child. He's now close to being a teenager. And then their daughter is a toddler, but they have since had one more child. So Carl is very proud of his family, especially his darling wife, and the difference her business makes to the community. Little does he or anyone else know how she truly spends her time. He hopes that Tyler will follow in his footsteps one day. So this is Tyler, but Tyler is a lot like his mom, so that might not be the case that he follows in his dad's being a scientist footsteps. Anyhow, and his wife is actually also in the criminal career, although she doesn't get along with Randy Esteban, interestingly enough. But yeah, he also doesn't know. So both of these people are busy with stuff behind their partners' backs, but the partners haven't found out yet. Okay, so they're still in the same home. Next to them, this used to be Collins. It's still under Collins, but there's no one named Collins living here anymore. So when you start off, Britt Esteban, who we looked at with many kids, used to room with Clarice. And then another artist, blonde artist, used to live with him too. They were roomies. Now, since then, this new family has moved in. I created them, and I played it out as Clarice met this guy online, but he's actually a bit of a gambler, and he kind of crashed at her place, and his parents ended up coming for a visit and kind of never leaving. But in the end, they fell in love, and they ended up getting married. But she is the dancer who just couldn't settle down. So she had relationships with a lot of different people. And so, for instance, Zadie is Zach Tanillo's daughter. And Anna Marie she was a Townie's daughter as well. He's playable. I will show him to you in a bit. And another Townie, Larry Riley, had a son with her before she met and settled with Gallagher Montague, who I created later. So the Montagues are new, but yeah, Clarice's story ended happily in a way, because she found someone that she actually settled with. But he is, like the story is, he's a bit of a gambler. So the question is, will the happiness kind of last? Will these poor kids have stability? And as you can see, they're expecting. So, yeah, we'll see how that ends up. Her dance career did continue, but she obviously didn't progress as fast as she could have, because she was a bit distracted by her, I don't know if you can call it a love life, really. Okay, so I'll show you also here. It also says Benson, but it's not Benson anymore. I had two townies that I ended up making playable roommates. It was Larson Riley, who's the father of one of Clarice's kiddos, and before he got married, and I think it's like, his last name is Benson. They were roomies together. So this girl over here, Claire Riley, who's now his wife, was a mail carrier that came with the game. I changed her up a bit, but I really liked her and wanted her to be playable. And actually, Larson really liked her. So, after he was the chef who was like um, kind of known as a ladies' man, he met her and really fell in love with her and they settled down. So, even though he's had relationships with other people and he does also have children from other relationships, the two of them have two little boys and they're very happy together. This home does not exist in the original neighborhood. I built it afterwards. Okay, when I made some townies playable. All right, so I just don't want to miss anyone. I think that I've done this street now. Now these guys are pretty set where they used to live. Their families grew. The Hastings family. Tess is in the journalism career. Her husband is this adventurer that's never at home. He's always traveling, and she's kind of left to take care of her job and the kids and the cats and everything. They're very well off, but yeah, her husband just wants to kind of come home, kick off his shoes, and be like, oh, let's relax, But she's kind of stuck with having to manage everything. And that's the idea is kind of the question that I asked was like, will she put her foot down at some stage? No, she hasn't really up to now. She seems to be fine with him just being away and her taking care of everything. She's kind of relaxed and happy-go-lucky. So we'll see. It's not an easy household to play because the youngest two were also toddlers at the same time, just like the eldest two were toddlers at the same time. So it wasn't a joke, but I was able to pull it off, let's put it that way, and manage the cats. So when you start off, Meg and little Roger are toddlers. They're now kids. They since had Terence, who just aged up to a child, and little Vanessa, who's still a toddler, but she's close to becoming a child as well. Tess wants more kids, but this house, even though it's a nice house that I built, that I love, I don't think space-wise, like, they would have to move if they wanted more kids, because they're just, I don't think it would make sense to add more rooms to this house. It will kind of destroy the look. So, yeah, and my favorite cat, Next, is in this household as well with his cool backstory. All right, across from them, we still have the Gupta family. Now, they had an eldest teen daughter, Asha. She moved to college and we'll talk about her later. Patel is in the entertainment career still, and his wife, who wants lots of children. A big family is very important to her. She's expecting a baby at the moment. When you start off, they have Prayan, who is a child. He's still a child, but he's very close to becoming a teen. And little Arna is a toddler at that stage. She's a child now. Since then, they've had Naya and they've had little Parima. And the story kind of is that their son is very conscious of the fact that he's the only boy and like his important role in the family. Yeah, that has not changed up to now because they've only had daughters. So he really is still the only boy. So he feels very special. He doesn't have to share a room with anyone. That hasn't actually changed. And then across from them, this family changed a lot. This is the Wellingtons. So they had the triplets in the beginning who were all teens. And the story was that Burke really wanted to have pets. And then he felt like they were still so busy with the teens, he kind of couldn't wait till they went to university so that he could have some pets. And then him and his wife, when I started playing them, had a surprise baby. Another little boy. These people just cannot have daughters, it seems. Anyway, so I decided it was kind of funny, that they had another child. And that he was like, oh, again something. Now we can't have pets. We're too busy. But yeah, my idea is now that I'm going to start round 6 to let them adopt pets, because I mean, one child alone isn't too bad, too hard to handle. So that's my intent, so that he can finally have the 20 pet best friends that he wants. Although I don't think I'll let them have 20 pets, because that will just be crazy. Um, so yeah, that's my intent with them. Their boys have been, some of them have been up to no good, and I'll share that with you as soon as we get to university. In my game, what they've done. But yeah, this is them. He's still in the culinary career. His wife is still in education, and yeah, they're overall a nice family to play. And the house is a bit calmer now that we don't have 3 teens running around as well. Across from them, we have the Schmidt family. This has changed a bit as well. Their teenage daughter, Heike, is at university now. And Ida, their, their daughter, who's not always so nice, has made some friends, even though she also has some enemies in the neighborhood. And they've had a son since, which is nice, because then the Schmidt last name can actually continue. So I've called him Hans. I've stuck with the German kind of theme that I was going for with these guys. They're happy. He's progressing well in his sport career, and she is in her education career as well. So yeah, everything is dandy with this family, and they're relatively easy and fun to play. Except for their butler, I recently got rid of him because not rid in a bad way, just kind of dismissed him, because yeah, he was just messing up the house more than I needed. But anyway, other than that, they're doing really well. This home doesn't exist in when you get the game. It's something I built recently. It's the Tonillo family. So when you start off, Zach is married to someone I will show you in a little bit, and she's pregnant. She's expecting, in my game, she ended up having twins, ironically. And he has commitment issues. He's a romance and pleasure. He's just not into having a family, and he wants to be this superstar movie star, and get the attention of all the ladies. So, you know, he's not actually the marrying kind, and he's also not the family kind. Now, since then, he's had relationships with other people. She's broken up with him, and she married someone else, their neighbor that was in the beginning fighting for her attention. She ended up marrying him, and she's very happy. Since then, Zach has had other relationships, and this townie that was created by me has moved in with him, and they have had children together. But they're kind of cut from the same cloth. She's in the music career, and they're just not setting a very good example to their kids. So the story is kind of like they're the but unstable family in the neighborhood. And yeah, I updated their bio. It says Zach has commitment issues. He just can't be a father or husband. Can he ever properly reach out to any of his children and build a relationship with any of them? Iona isn't setting a good example to her daughters. Will that ever change? So yeah, I'm kind of wondering what to do with them. Like, should some life-changing event happen, and then they kind of take their parenting more seriously, or will they just remain this couple that's kind of, not a very good example of how you should be parenting and how you should be living your life? So yeah, that's them. Okay. He starts off in one of these with his wife, who's now his ex. Okay. Then on this side, or he starts, I'm correcting myself, sorry. Here's some more townhouses. He actually started off in one of these, not in the white ones. Okay. Then Gibson. Okay, things have changed here significantly as well. These people have had many twins. This is Pastor Noah, and when you start the game, he owns the church. I have that set up next to him, next to his home. And when you start off with him, the story is basically that he's kind of the person everyone wants to marry and date. But he is then engaged to this townie that I created at the beginning of the game, and you can kind of decide which direction you're taking it in. Now, in my game, I decided to let them end up together. They seem to just be meant for each other. And yeah, he does the community weddings, and his wife Simya fits in very well into her role as pastor's wife. And she is also a teacher in Azure Peaks, and these are their kiddos. They have been managing fine actually, with raising all of them and teaching them their skills. It's been really tough, but they've done it. So we have little Paul, we have Maria, we have Solomon, and we have Eve. I used biblical names for them. I felt like that just really fit in well, and him having a biblical name too. I thought that was cute for them. And then down this street. So when you start with the game, these homes are built here for you to use. I haven't used a lot of them, although some of them here and there. And I think I've made quite some edits to some of them as well. Some of them have had Sims live in them and then moved to other homes. All right, so in the beginning I showed you Britt, and I showed you Clarice, the other roommate. Now their third roommate was this artist over here, Bethany. I think her last name used to be Collins. That's why that house still says Collins. Now he was a townie, and he does have a daughter with Clarice, but after that he did end up marrying Bethany. They were dating and living together, but they got married eventually. So it says Ben and Bethany had some turmoil early in their marriage, but hopefully they have settled down now and will give the boys a stable life. So both these boys are Ben's children, but this little boy isn't. His dad is over here because they were dating. It was kind of like she was dating more than one person, and then she got married to Ben Carson's and had the baby like straight after, but then it ended up making Ben angry with her. But really, that's kind of like the Sims mechanics, because, they were dating other people before getting married. So, yeah. Anyhow, at the moment they are together and these are their kids, and she has changed a lot. I've actually changed her aspiration because her wants leaned that way for me, that it seemed to me like she was ready to settle down and that this was the family that she wanted. So I've changed her aspiration, and they are very happy together right now. Okay, so that's them. Then across from them lives the Johnson family. They also start out in these townhouses over here. And their story is basically that, like, he's so serious, but he's a gamer. And, can he meet anyone, or not meet anyone? He already met her, but can he give someone a stable life with a stable income, basically? Now, since then, they have gotten married. They have 2 kids. The dog, you start off with him. And she's one of 2 sisters when you start off. And they're also expecting a 3rd child. So it says, James seems to be much too serious to be in the gaming career. After a major setback, he got a gaming developer job at a better company. Will this help him and Nelly enough financially? So he actually ended up getting fired from his gaming job when I played him afterwards, and I needed to get him a job again, but he got a higher position, so it ended up working in his favor. So yeah, one of my favorite pets, Oreo, that's there from the beginning, is still their dog, and they have little Penelope and Errol are their kitties. They're not twins though. She's becoming a child soon. Okay, so that's them. Her sister lives higher up in the neighborhood. I'll show her to you. Now this family, they don't even have a bio yet. What happened was they were townies that I created for my university, and the two of them were just not interested in studying at all. And they are kind of, they're pleasure sims and romance sims, and yeah, they just seemed like they could hardly write their exams and things, and they ended up expecting their daughter, and I decided to not bother with trying to make them get degrees because it just wasn't working. So I moved them here. I let them drop out. So they're over here now, and the story is kind of that I'm going with that they dropped out and now they're trying to make a decent living and raise their family. But yeah, they're expecting another kiddo. So yeah, they were able to afford a decent enough home though. These homes, as I said, isn't here when you start out. Now this is Boz, Frisco, and Angie. Angie is, when you start off, she's married to Zach Tonillo, this guy that couldn't settle, and she's also expecting. So in my game, she ended up having these twins with Zach, but Boz saw that that Zach was really mistreating her, and he wasn't okay with that. So, and he was secretly in love with her, let's face it. He kind of ruined everything because I was going with the story that Zach would be the cheater, but then he ended up grabbing her, kissing her, and it ended up showing up as she is the cheater, you know. Anyhow, the story that I went with was that she realized, you know, that Zach was not the right person that she ended up marrying. So they got divorced and she married Boz, and now they have a happy family. They have 2 boys together as well. So I named the twins Zareen and Angelo, but they have the last name Tonillo. And then with Boz, Angie has Biko and Oswald Frisco. Okay. So yeah, they're very happy together. They're doing well. He's a lawyer. She's in the law enforcement career, but she hasn't progressed much, to be honest, in the last 5 years. She's kind of where she started out. Okay, the schools are still here. My community lots are still, nothing has changed much there. I also haven't added community lots. I've just played the ones I have. And then the Benson family. So these were both townies. When you start off, Zala is actually interested in the pastor. So I guess you could decide she could have ended up with him as well. But yeah, I didn't want to break up Pastor Noah and his then fiance. So Zala actually got along with Joseph really well, Joseph Benson. So I ended up pairing them up. And yeah, they have quite a nice family going over here. This house starts as a single story. I've changed it for the 2 of them. And it says, Joseph thought he would always be single and career-oriented, but he found love unexpectedly and couldn't be happier with Zala. They have 2 daughters called Zoe and Josephine. as well as 2 boys called Josie and Omar, who are a perfect blend between the 2 of them. So, yeah, he's an adventurer, she's in the medical career, and they're doing pretty well. All right. This house also starts as a single story when you start off. So I've added quite a bit to it. I've extended also at the back. So it's changed quite a bit. I should mention, he does not start off in the game. I created him afterwards. Zanlia from Vijk, she starts as a townie. And I ended up making her playable and creating this guy to basically share the rent with her. Although it wasn't really rent, I was kind of pretending there. And then the 2 of them ended up falling in love. So Zanlia was prepared to have a new female roomie, but due to a misunderstanding, a guy showed up, and she felt too embarrassed to admit it was a misunderstanding. So they shared the house for a few months before admitting they had feelings for one another. Now they are married and have twins. So yeah, this neighborhood has actually had quite a few twins. And that was even before I installed the quads and triplets mod. Their kiddos are called Hein and Anli, and her husband is Stanley Bright. But yeah, he doesn't come with the neighborhood. I added him. Alright, then we have some houses here that are empty. And across from the primary school, we have the Perkins family. So when you start off, this lady actually lives, she's part of the Langley family. Where's the Langleys here? She lives in this home with her brother, his wife, and her parents, as well as her toddler daughter. And the story is that her husband went missing. And yeah, he never returns. Now, I played with the idea of creating a sim and sending him back and letting that be her husband, but I decided against it in the end. So Brett is a roomie that starts off in I'm gonna see which. I'm not sure. He starts in one of these. Yeah. There's 3 guys: Boz, Brett, and a musician who start off in one of these. And they're just roomies, you know, kind of starting their life, trying to make ends meet and, you know, finding their way. But they ended up falling in love. So they are married now. And this, I promise she has hair. Her hair is just really high poly, so no, it doesn't show up. Little Leonie Anderson is Sandra's daughter with a sim that doesn't exist, okay? That I just pretended was the dad that went missing. But she ended up falling in love with Brett, and these 3 kiddos are their children. Okay. So it says, Brett was so shy, it seemed as if he would be alone forever, and then he met Sandra. Sandra's husband disappeared after investigating strange lights in the sky, and she ended up moving herself and her daughter to her parents' and brother's home. Brett and Sandra are now happily married and have a lot of kids of their own. Well, it's just 3, but it feels like a lot. Anyway, they're quite happy. She's not employed. She's a homemaker, and he's in the architecture career, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. This home, I do not know if it exists or if it's smaller and I extended to it. Either one of the 2. I cannot remember whether that's something I built afterwards. It might be. Okay, let me just see on this part of the town if I went through everyone. I hope so. I think I did. Alright. Let's look up here. So when you start off with this home, this home is kind of a rags to riches idea. 2 sisters inherited it, and it's just like broken down pieces of a home that's there, and you kind of have to repair it. So I did that, and the home looks really nice. So what happened, one of the sisters fell in love and married into the Gojkovic family, and the other Forrester sister stayed here and married a townie. So I'll read you their bio. It basically said Amy and her sister, who didn't get along, got summoned to claim the half-destroyed home they inherited. Her sister decided she wanted out to move in with the love of her life in the bird sanctuary. She met Alfonso, who joined her in fixing the home, and love quickly followed. Now they are raising their kids of their own. Okay. So, yeah, they're happily married. His story as a townie was that he grew up as the child of diplomats, but that his favorite place was always his grandma, maternal grandma's village in a rural area, and that he kind of longs for that family feel again, and that he hopes to find someone who shares his ideals. Now, Amy is also very family oriented, so the two of them are quite happy. They fixed up the home, and they have a little boy and little girl now, and their little girl is called Alfreda, and their boy is Onyx. Okay, so that's them. And her sister married into the Gojkovic family. Here she is. The story here was Peter had a good share of heartache. He didn't want to go down that route again, but Glenda changed all of that. The bird sanctuary consumes a lot of his time, but they work as a team. Mihailo finally has the mother he always wanted, and Helena has also found love again. Their family is growing and everyone seems happy and content. Okay, so when you start off, it's Helena and her son, Peter, and then his son, Mihailo. It's just the three of them. Now, what happens since, the story was kind of, sad that Mihailo's mother was a criminal and the dad didn't know that. And, she died in a police shootout. And so he was very heartbroken, took his child, moved into the bird sanctuary with his mom, where they worked together with all the animals. And then Helena, his mom, found love with this townie that is a created townie. And the two of them, ended up being very happy together. And both the sisters, Glenda and Amy, actually had good chemistry with Peter and was good friends with him. But he ended up falling in love with Glenda. And they also have a little boy together now. So their little boy is called Henry. And this townie that moved in is Leonid Long. And he is a security guard. So yeah, that's basically everyone found love again. So nice and happy family in the bird sanctuary. Then next to the Foresters is the Eardo family. And the story is that they're kind of weird and strange, which I tried to continue to run with. So it says, what better cover for a secret agent than appearing like a weird hoarder nerd? Well, it's even better if you don't have to pretend and you are actually a weird nerdy hoarder. But are the wife and kids just as quirky? I didn't change this because it's still very relevant. You start off with these two being kids. Her hair changed a bit, so, and hers as well. You may not recognize them as much. The kids are near to being teenagers. They did end up having this little girl as well, toddler, and she is called Ordonia Eardo. So yeah, they're still strange. Nothing has changed there, but the kids did manage to actually make more friends than they had originally. Then across, we have the Callahan family. Their eldest daughter, who starts off sporting a mohawk, moved to university now. She's much more respectable looking than she used to be. But it's kind of the story I went with was her parents forced her to be more respectable, because what happened was she ended up having a teen pregnancy with one of the Wellington triplet boys. And yeah, her parents, obviously both sets of parents, were very upset. So her parents are raising this little boy, who's actually now their grandchild, while she's off at university. The irony is she also didn't even end up with one of the triplets that she had the relationship with or has the child with. They kind of broke up and drifted apart. But yeah, there's some more drama going on there that I'll share with you in a little bit. So when you start off, you have 2 teenagers in this house, and you have a little girl, this little girl. You don't have any of the other kids. So I'll just share with you. The story is basically that Meredith and Goldman Callahan are very happily married, but people wonder if she just married him for his money, or that he married her just because she wanted lots of kids and he was thinking that's a good idea. But they know that it's really love. And they're kind of just battling to raise their kids to be respectable kids. That was kind of aiming at Delia, their daughter, who was acting out. But they have goody two-shoes Fran, that's near to becoming a teenager. And since then, they've had little Mary and also Gordon Callahan. But then this is their grandson, Dexter. But you'll see his last name is Wellington because his dad is actually one of the Wellington triplets. So yeah, that's their story. Okay. And their daughter still isn't very fond of her older sister. She feels like her older sister is really a brat who's misbehaving and embarrassing the family kind of situation. Yeah, so that's their story. Goldman still owns this business. Where are we? This business, Happy Home Appliance Store, and it's going well over there. And then next to them, the Kruger family. I do have a mod where I can have more people in a household than the game usually allows. But when you start off, you don't have all of these Sims. You have Grandma and Grandpa here. You have the adults. You have their daughter. And this little boy is a toddler. So these 2 kiddos came after in my gameplay. So the story is Brando's parents are concerned. So this is Brando. These are his parents. They're concerned because he's just spending his money and kind of acting irresponsibly, like someone who doesn't quite know how to manage his finances. He's quite high up in the sport career, and it's kind of like he doesn't know what to do with his fame and fortune at the moment. And he also doesn't want his wife, Vicky, to work. Now, she hasn't gone back to work. She wants to be in the medical career, but you kind of saying, no, it's not necessary. I'll take care of you, that type of thing. And yeah, she's kind of allowing him to dictate to her at the moment, but his parents are a bit worried that it's going to not end well. On the road that he is at the moment. So it just says Brando's parents are concerned since he became an athlete and became well known. He has been flashing money and status left and right. He drinks a lot more as well. By the way, he does that on his own. I'm not even responsible for that. He does not want his wife to work, and she has always wanted to go into medicine. He brought this flashy home, but didn't bother even installing proper security. They worry about how responsible he is being. So that hasn't changed much except for the drinking part. Anyway, so we'll see how this ends up. But it's a nice family in general. So Gordon turned into a child in the meantime. Then Orlando is newly born, as well as their little girl over there. So yeah, grandparents are helping out a lot. Then over here we have the mayor. So yeah, this has changed a lot too. Oh goodness, this was even without a mod that they had loads of kids. Duncan, the mayor, the story is his wife just left him and no one really knew why, but it sounded like she had a string of affairs. Now, there wasn't really a sim like that. I just made the story when we started the neighborhood. And then I said that, he had these two kiddos here. He's a toddler when you start off. She's a child. And she's near to being a teen. But when you start off, you have them and then the live-in nanny, which obviously is not really a nanny. I just pretended that she was. And, he finds her attractive, and what would the story be? Now, in my gameplay, I did let them end up together, and they've had these 3 kiddos together. I think she wants 6 kids. I'm not sure whether I'll fulfill that, to be honest. So, yeah, he heard news of, the wife that disappeared 3 years ago, that she's just left him because of all the affairs she was having and didn't want to be with him anymore. But yeah, him and the nanny are now married and their family has grown significantly and they're quite happy together. So Nina and Blair is from his first relationship or his first marriage, and then now he has little Anik, Dunya, and Andre McLeod. So that's their kiddos. They're a happy, wholesome family. This has also changed quite a bit. Not all of these houses were here to begin with. Some of them were. Some of them are still empty. But let's start with what was here. The Langley family was here. I've shown them off a couple of times and how things changed. So when you start off, you have them with 2 teen daughters and his sister and her child daughter living with them. But since then, their teen daughters, twins, have gone off to college, and she was pregnant when you start off, yeah. So now they then had this little girl, and since then they also had triplet daughters who are all toddlers. So this household is really busy, but grandma and grandpa is extremely actively involved, so that really helps. And grandpa Alec is all over family, is just really important to him, so that's fine. And it's kind of ironic, she runs the baby store in town and she has all these kids. So yeah, there's no boys in this household, and I didn't intend on letting them have more children, so I'm not quite sure. It seems like the Langley name will die out then, unless someone keeps their maiden name. I'll think what to do there, because I'd like the Langley name to continue, but there's no boys that have the Langley last name. All right, next to them, the Mason family moved. So when you start off, the story is that Quentin and this little boy, who's then a toddler, and his daughter, are living alone because his wife died during childbirth. And then you have this lady who she lives with her sister and her daughter and the sister's son, and their husbands died in an accident together. And then the question is kind of like, in Quentin's side, will he ever have time to, for a relationship again, or the wish for one? And then on her side and her sister's side, it's kind of like, they're just going to remain together and raise their kids together, or will they find love? Now, they both ended up finding love. So now it's a really big combined household. Quentin married Kathy, and now their last name is Mason. Lillian is his daughter, as well as Arlo is his son. Ling Limang is Kathy's daughter, like from the husband that didn't exist that I pretended died in an accident. And then once they got married, they got twins. Antoine Mason and Kane Mason. Yeah, this neighborhood, I don't know. This was all before I installed any mods that they had these twins. I just had really loads of twins in this neighborhood and no one ate cheesecake. I don't know what happened. So they're happy. It's a nice, wholesome family. And they have a really nice home. Then across, let me show her sister to you. So the story with the Blythe family is that he's the musician that's part of the roomies that live together. Perkins, Brett Perkins, and Boz Frisco, and Llewellyn Blythe. They were roomies together. Okay, so Llewellyn is a musician, and then she was the sister who lived with her sister, you know, that we just looked at from the Mason family. They are sisters who tried to raise their kids together. And so yeah, this was kind of an unlikely pairing, but she ended up with Llewellyn. And yeah, the story is now Llewellyn's career is developing well, and he swept the widow Lena off her feet. Lena and Lee, her little boy, now have a second chance at the family that they lost years ago. Little Lexi brings such joy to their lives. So Lexi is their child now that they got married, and she's also expecting their second child. So yeah, they're happy and have a nice home, and everything is going well for them career-wise and family-wise. Then across here we have the Maxwell family. So both these people are townies when you start out. And what happened was this Zach Tanillo, who was just having like lots of relationships, the guy with the commitment issues, she was a townie that ended up with him. So I made her playable. And they had this little boy together. They were engaged. I was kind of surprised that Zach wanted to be engaged to her because he actually has commitment issues. But it didn't last long, and she actually caught him cheating on her. So she dropped him like a hot potato. And she raised her little boy on her own. And then she met this townie over here, who's also a bit of a criminal. So yeah, question is what's going to happen there. She's actually in the military career, and the story is that, you know, having such a serious job doesn't prohibit her from partying and having a good time. But anyhow, at the moment they are happily married, and they have these two daughters. And it says Louise believed Zach's sob story of his unfaithful wife who left him for some lawyer, but quickly realized that he conveniently left out his part in it at all. After finding him in her best friend's arms, she realized that she was better off raising their unborn child alone. Louis is a toddler now, and since then she fell in love with Stuart Stallkamp and now look forward to getting married. Did she make a wise choice, though, because Stuart isn't being as honest himself? Now, they did end up just getting married this previous round. So, yeah, they have their daughters. They're raising them in a good home. But, yeah, he is in the criminal career. So he's also busy with some shady stuff. So we have a couple of criminals in this neighborhood that's hiding out and not sharing what they're really up to. Then this family, the Omakis, Cynthia, when you start off, we have the two sisters living over here. She's in the oceanography career, and her sister is Nellie. Okay. And Cynthia, actually, if you download this neighborhood and you try and play it on your own, Cynthia can end up with almost anyone. She's kind of like, I tried one other playthrough and she ended up with Brett Perkins, because she just has kind of too bold chemistry with just about everyone. So you can pair her with anyone. She's very versatile. But in my game, in this playthrough, she ended up with this townie who's very passionate about dancing. And so it says Cynthia loves her job, but she did want someone special in her life. Bailey has always been very focused on his dancing, but he eventually realized that love was also important. Now they have started a family and they feel balanced and fulfilled. So everything is really going well for them, financially, job-wise, and with their kids. So it's a nice, wholesome family to play. So you have Bailey is a fortune sim, Cynthia, she's a knowledge sim, Ainsley is their son, and Cindy is their daughter. Okay, so that's the main neighborhood. And I'm pretty sure I've covered everyone. I really hope I did. And I'm going to quickly show you the university that I've created. Alright, please ignore the pink flashing. These are high poly buildings. So I'll have to maybe replace them. But this is my custom university. Some City State University that I created. I did not create the map though, so it's a map from somewhere else, but I do really like the layout. So the idea with this is that over here I have like the main, all the stores, the where they go to class, where they go for sport, all those things are kind of together. I'm not done with what I exactly want to create over here, so I will continue with that a bit and give you updates as time comes. But I'm just going to focus on where the students live. So in this one, I didn't want to use just the standard dorms that come with the game. I wanted to build my own. So I actually built some units with student rooms that's supposed to double as dorms, but I didn't create them as dorms. It would more be like large homes, basically. If you look at the type, it's residential type buildings. So okay, let's start here. This is called Students E. So I'll just give you a quick rundown. Charlie King is just a townie that I created. Same with Chris Connors. Same with Irma's, what did I write here? Same with Irma Salo and Lavina Most. But Alan Wellington is one of the triplets, and his girlfriend Asha Gupta as well. So when you start off with the game, both of these people are teens, and they like each other. So I paired them up. They're dating as teenagers. They were in my game, and they are now engaged, and I intend on letting them get married. And then we have Francois Fernandez. He's also just one of the townies I created. Unfortunately, her hair is high poly, so it doesn't show up here. But these two are from the neighborhood that you download as teens. So that's them. In this household, I thought it would be a fun idea to have a mascot and a cheerleader who's actually studying inside of the dorm with my sons. So I've added them in. I have a plan for them. Once they reach graduation, I'm going to let them live on campus and work on campus, both in the athletic career, and I'm going to pretend that the two of them, are training new students that come in that want to be mascots, cheerleaders, things like that. Like they work for the university. So that's my plan for the two of them, but they can still have a family and whatever, but they will live on campus. So I thought that could be a lot of fun. All right, then in this specific dormitory, I have some playable sims, and I have some that's, I mean, I'm playing with all of them, but they are townies, if I can put it like in that sense of the word. They're dormies, but I am playing with all of them, and they will all graduate and go back to the main neighborhood eventually. So that's the basic plan that I have with them. So Emma Jane Dermott is one of my dormies. Vanity Marshalls is a dormie. Trent Nash is a dormie. His face doesn't show up here, but I promise he's there. Then this is Delia Callahan. So Delia Callahan is the teen that was sporting her mohawk, who had a baby with one of the triplets, and her parents is currently raising her son. All right, and she is here to study, but she is having a relationship with Trent Nash at the moment, and the two of them are expecting a child. So her parents will be very angry with her if they don't tie the knot. So luckily they do intend on tying the knot. So yeah, she does plan on getting married to him and all that, but they'll have to do it quick because her parents will not be happy with this. Then Damien DeCanto is also a dormie, and Sebastian Gray is a dormie, and then of course I have Connor Stolkamp and Christy Barakat, and they are my mascot and cheerleader. Right, so that's them. Her hair is just high poly, that's why it's not showing up, but she doesn't have her mohawk anymore. Then next to them, again we have a high poly hair over here. We have some playables and some dormies. Skylar Jones is a dormie, so is Tim Baxter, so is Elise Miller, as well as Carmen Cassidy. But playable is Heike Schmidt. She's from the family where I went for the German theme, and she is currently engaged to Rolf Wellington, who's the other one of the triplets. Okay, and Ulbert Callahan is he is the brother of Delia, and he's a really nice guy and does what he's supposed to and all of that. And then we have Alice Langley. So Alice Langley is engaged to Ulbert Callahan. She's, of course, one of the twins from the Langley family. And yeah, everything is fine and dandy over there. There's no real drama here. So these guys all, they're all engaged and ready to start their life together and doing pretty well with their studies. Okay. And over here in Students A, Dorm A, we have again a high poly hair that's not showing up. So here we have Mira Malomi. She is also a dormie. Mdane Noale, who's a dormie. Vivian Holloway is a dormie. And so is Les Hutchkins, but our only playable here is Audrey Langley, the other twin from the Langley family. Alright, so I'd like to just show you the dynamics of relationships quickly. So I will just enter these lots. Right, so I will show you the building first. I worked pretty hard on them, so I think it's worth showing. Alright, so this is the parking lot. Some of these cars, they don't really belong to the students, but I use them sometimes if I want them to drive somewhere. Some of them are just decorative, some of them can actually be used. And then you have entrance down here, and kind of a recreation area for the students, bathrooms, and the kitchen and eating area for them, another bathroom. You go upstairs, which you have stairs on both sides. You get to a bathroom and some rooms that have bunk beds, so here students can actually share. That's why I didn't put doors that you can really identify that this is this person's room, this is that person's room. There's another bathroom. What I do is I do have a mod where if you choose a bed, then that bed belongs to that sim. You can also reset beds, but if I've identified a bed that belongs to something, they typically just go to their bedroom. But yeah, the cheerleader or whatever can storm in and bother them. That does happen, unfortunately, from time to time. And then on the top floor, if you go up with some more stairs, we have another bathroom there. And we have some more rooms that is shared between the students. And another bathroom. And in between, there's areas like these that you can do some exercise or study or whatever. And there's also a balcony out here. So yeah, it's plain and simple living arrangements, and it's got this roof. Okay, let's go to the Sims. So I do have mods related to university. So obviously, when you have a playable sim come in, that playable sim will go through university much quicker than the sims that are dormies, because the dormies have the regular exams and things like that they write. Alright, so this is Vivian Holloway. She's a popularity sim who wants to become a media magnet, and she's an art major. And she's engaged to one of my other dormies in another dormitory, Chris Connors. They're very much in love, and yeah, happy. No real drama there. Everything's fine and normal for her. Mira Malomi, she's a family sim who would like to spend 200 hours teaching others. So I do have custom lifetime ones. Alright, so it made sense for me that she would go into education. She's a biology major. And she's engaged with, she's engaged to Les Hutchkins. As you can see, also max chemistry. Really good couple. And no real drama. And then Ndane Nawale. He's a family sim who would like to marry off 6 kids. So he wants a big family. He is engaged to Lavina Most, another dormie who lives in another dormitory. Very happy together. No issues. And yeah, all of them also have traits, by the way. I've given them traits. I'm very enjoying the trait gameplay a lot. So yeah. And Les Hutchkins, who we know is engaged to Mira Malomi. He wants to also be a media magnet, just like Vivian. And he is studying so that he could do that job. And also no real drama for him. And then our playable would like to become a celebrity chef. And she is engaged to a townie, Charlie King, who's not in this dormitory. Well, she's not actually engaged to him, sorry. She's in love with him, got a crush, and yeah, they are dating and they're quite happy together. So that's that. And yeah, she's a diva, she's dramatic, she's grumpy, she's artistic, she's a natural cook, a great kisser, a hopeless romantic, and she's irresistible. And her secondary is fortune. So yeah, she's got interesting plans. Her grandpa is very into family, and he's kind of hoping that all his grandkids will be as well, but she's got some other plans, but she does have that special someone, so she'll probably have a family of her own one day. Okay, and she is studying art. She needs to work on her skills now because she's a junior in the second semester. So yeah, that's it for her. So how I play this is I'm playing until my playables are at certain stages. Since they came to university, I played their 2 first years with them, and now from round 6 to 10, their other 2 years will take place. I play them at the end of the rotation, so I will be playing, I will be playing at the end of rotation 6. I'll be playing their junior year, and at the end of rotation 7, I'll be playing their senior year, and then they will graduate. But these guys who are still busy studying will stay here. They act as my placeholders because, as you know, when the last sim moves out, unless you have some type of mod, everything will disappear that's inside of the home, because this counts as homes, the residential lots, and I don't want that to happen. So they will act as placeholders, and when the next set of university students come in, so that will be the kids who are kids now who has to still become teens, so that will be a while, then they will come in. I only play university when I have my original playable sims who was born in game in university. These other guys, they do graduate, they do become part of my neighborhood, but they still count as dormies. So that's my little play system. Okay, let's move over to one of the other dorms. Okay, we are going to go visit these students. I didn't show them to you yet, which was the oversight on my side. Yvonne Black is a dormie, as well as Erin Frank, as well as DeMarco Brodowski. But then my playables are Holden Wellington. He's the triplet that made all the trouble and got Delia pregnant. There was also some issues. He was dating one of the Langley twins, and then Delia kind of stole him from her. And yeah, there was a big fight at that stage, and some bad feelings. Right now, they're just kind of indifferent towards each other, so it's okay. And he's got a good relationship with Delia and his son, but they just have understanding that, yeah, they've moved on. They were teens, and they're just not meant for each other. So in the end, he actually got engaged to Danny Blunders. So she's from the trailer. She wanted to rise out above her circumstances. She was not pursuing him for money or anything like that. We'll enter this one while I tell you about it. She was not pursuing him for money or anything like that. She was actually quite independent, trying to study, minding her own business. She never dated anyone as a teen. She was very focused on specific goals, but he spotted her at uni and realized that he was interested in her, made his feelings known, and yeah, she did like him. She already liked him as a teenager, but you know, she's respectful of the fact that he dated someone else. At that stage, she actually knew that he was dating Delia, who was her friend, and also had a child with Delia, so she did not intervene. But here at university, you know, their paths crossed again, and they have Delia's blessing, so it's not a problem. Okay, the building quickly. So this one has quite a different look to it. The roofs, parking lot in the front. Okay, and here between the buildings where the stairs come out on the outside, there's a bit of recreation area for them. So there's an entrance here and an entrance there. Sorry. So there we go. Area where they can watch TV, play some games, little lounge, work on logic skill, and then they have a ICT suite where they can work on computers as well and do some studying together, bit of a library type look. Bathrooms on both sides, and then you make your way through to the area where you can eat in the kitchen. My Sims have to prepare their own meals. They do have a maid and a gardener, but that's it. They prepare their own meals. And then when you go up with the stairs, there's bathrooms as well as bedrooms over here, as well as on this side. And there's some more stairs that go up on these two sides. And there's more bedrooms and bathrooms on both sides. Yeah, they have very spacious rooms and they don't have to share with anyone. So that's quite nice. And yeah, so that's the building. All right, so Aaron Frank, he wants to be engaged to Christy. He's a romance sim. This is an interesting turn of events. I'm not sure that she's interested in you because she's a romance sim too. And I don't know how permanent she wants to make it. Anyways, she seems to be kind of his his flame, although I'm trying to remember, has he had? Yeah, he's kind of hopelessly involved with her. Ah, that's why. Yeah, he's a conflicted dude. He's a secondary family sim. So he's one of those. He really wants family, but yeah, he's on the romantic side. I think I gave him... Oh, I did not give him his traits yet. I have to do that. All right, Danny Blunder. She's our playable. She's from the trailer. Pretty sim. She's a popularity sim. She wants to be Captain Euro. She's quite serious about it. She's studying in the right direction, so yeah, she's prepared for it. And then she's engaged to Holden Wellington and eager to start a life with him. She actually has a lot of chemistry with DeMarco Brodowski, but yeah, she I think she recognizes that her and Holden have something special. Okay, so DeMarco Brodowski, he is a dormie. He's a fortune sim. He wants to earn lots of money. She's a secondary fortune, so that's why they have such a high chemistry. But he is engaged to Yvonne Black, who is another dormie. And He's studying economics. There we go. And then we have our troublemaker triplet, Holden, middle child. He wants to be a Hall of Famer, but he's extremely lazy. That was his whole kind of story, is that he wants to be this famous sports star, but he's really lazy and doesn't really want to work for it. So, interesting. Anyway, he is studying drama, which is what goes along with sport, ironically. Not sure how that works. And then he's good friends with Delia. That will always be the case, but really they don't have any chemistry right now. And Danny is the one for him. And yeah, he's got a lot of friends. He's got a good relationship with his parents, even though I think they were a bit irritated with him, more than a bit, as well as with his brothers. And yeah, this is his little boy, Dexter Wellington, so who's being raised by Delia's parents. But once Delia gets married, you know, and has the other child that she's expecting, her little toddler might as well move in with them. I don't see why not. So yeah, I'm trying to see if Delia's fiance will show up. Well, he will show up when we go to them. Then Yvonne Black, who is my other dormie, is a popularity sim. She wants to own 5 top-level businesses. So she very much fits with DeMarco. I think they will be a power couple when it comes to business once they graduate. And she's also studying economics, of course. So yeah, that's my sims over here. Let's move on to the next one quickly. Alright, let's go into this one. Okay, the building. Let's look at the building. Alright, so it also has parking lots in the front. And then it has its entrance over here. It has the ICT area, computing, and the area to relax in with stairs going up. Here we have bathrooms and the kitchen and dining area, and again some stairs up. And if you come up with these stairs, you have bedrooms that are spacious, but they are sharing, as well as over here and through the hallway, and next to the other stairs, another bathroom, and again rooms to be shared. Okay, so that's basically this dormitory. Then the students. So she's playable. She's the other Langley twin, Alice. And she's a knowledge sim. She wants to become a prestidigitator. And she is in the correct study direction. She's got max chemistry, even since she was a teen, with Albert Callahan. She also has with Rolf Wellington. But yeah, her and Albert just really hit it off as teens. She was always just friends with Rolf. So yeah, it is, you know, a relationship that just they started dating already as teens. She's very pretty, and everything's going well for her. So then let's look at Albert, who she's engaged to. He wants to become Hand of Poseidon. He's very sciencey. That's his whole backstory when he was a teen already, is that he wants to have a science facility. Very much into animals and into science. So he is studying a biology major as well. And yeah, he has a good relationship with everyone. And he doesn't really know her sister much, interestingly enough. Should maybe kind of get to know his own sister. Delia, he's kind of just shaking his head at her. So he doesn't have a close relationship with her. His little sister Mary, he kind of left the house, as soon as she grew up. There wasn't really time for him to build relationships with his younger siblings. But I think he will eventually. So yeah, that's him. And then we have Dormies. Here's Elise Miller. She's engaged to Skylar Jones, the other Dormie. That's over here. She wants to become a media magnet. She is in the right study direction. And Skylar wants to become a media magnet as well. So I was thinking the two of them can possibly run a newspaper together. I might build a building like that and let them do that. And yeah, there's not much drama to them. Pretty straightforward. He's not a fan of Mdane Nwale. For some reason, they don't really see eye to eye and get along. Then Carmen Cassidy, another Dormie. She wants to marry off 6 kids. She's engaged to Tim Baxter and is a biology major. So she'll probably go into education. I was thinking that kind of suits her. And so here's Tim Baxter. He's also a family sim, wants to reach his golden anniversary. So they're very family oriented. And he's also a biology major. I was thinking they could possibly take over and run schools once the previous generation is done doing that. That's kind of my plan with the two of them. And then we have one of our playables, Heike Schmidt, from the very German family that I gave the kind of German background. She's a fortune sim and she wants to have 6 pets reach the top career level. So I want to send her in that direction. I was thinking that could be a very interesting job for her. And, that could be her position basically in the neighborhood. Perhaps I'll give her the main job of being a vet, something like that. I have a career like that. So she's a biology major. Okay, her secondary is family. So she has a good head on her shoulder. She's very balanced. Then Rolf Wellington, he's a family sim. He's the youngest of the triplets. He wants to reach his golden anniversary. And he's engaged to Heike. He's studying art. And yeah, he just wants to provide a good life for his family. Okay, that's them. Let's take a look at the next one. It's snowing. Alright, let's go into this one. This is Delia's fiance, who she's also expecting a baby with. Alright, so first a look at the building. Smaller parking area. Some statues in the front. Area where you can sit in front of the building and relax a little bit. We have two entrances, one on this side with a recreation area and some bathrooms, as well as computers, and here a lounge to relax. And then on this side, the kitchen and dining area. Everything is purplish and white. Then when you go up, you have bedrooms to share. Here you have hallway, bathrooms, some more bedrooms to share. Okay, and it's just the 2 levels. All right, so that's the building. Let's start with our cheerleader. She's a romance sim, and she has a relationship with both the mascot as well as Erin Frank. Now, this is an interesting situation because Erin wants to be engaged to her. But I actually intend on letting her end up with the mascot because I have plans for them for the future. So yeah, Erin will need to find someone else eventually. Okay. Yeah, so she has relationships with both these guys. And she wants to have 20 different relationships. She's an art major. We'll see how that turns out. And then Connor. Connor is also a romance sim who wants to become a rock god. That's probably not going to happen because I have other plans for him, so I will change this. Anyway, he is just involved with Christy, no one else. And he is a literature major. And then Damien DeCanto, he's another dormie. He wants to reach maximum long-term aspiration is his goal. So fulfilled life, basically. He's studying a physics major. He is engaged to Vanity Marshalls. He does also have very good chemistry with Delia, as well as with Carmen Cassidy. But yeah, he's engaged to Vanity. Okay, let's look at Vanity while we're going in that direction. She's a knowledge sim. She would like to also reach maximum long-term aspiration. And she's a history major. So Delia is our playable over here. She became a family sim. So she used to be a romance sim, but since she had her son and now met someone that she wants to spend her life with, she has changed and she became a family sim. She wants to be a world-class dancer. She's quite talented in that direction. So she is studying that. She's engaged to Trent Nash. And they're expecting a baby. And here's her son, Dexter Wellington, of course, who's being raised by her parents, who she had with Holden Wellington. Okay. So that's her pedigree. And let's look at Trent Nash then. He wants to be self-employed and talented with top business, with max skill badge and sales, restocking register and everything. So he needs to own a business. Now her dad has a business that he would obviously like to pass along to someone. So I was thinking if Trent, I mean he looks a bit disheveled, but if he can really prove himself, then maybe she will inherit the business. Ironically, because her parents feel like, she's not really responsible, but she might change their mind if she can make a good go of this relationship and successfully raise her kids. and then Trent could possibly take over that business. So it worked out. It worked out quite handy that he is, having. I didn't set it up like this. It's great that it worked out. All right. Emma Jane Dermot. So she's a fortune sim. She would like to have everything perfect with a luxury home and a perfect garden, all hired help, everything. She's studying psychology and she is in love with but not engaged to Sebastian Gray, who's my other dormie, and here he is. He's a popularity sim. He would like to be a member of 10 hobby clubs and secret society and have best friends in each. This is a tall order. Not sure if I will be very successful at it, but yeah, we can try. All right, yeah, in love with her, and he's studying mathematics, and his secondary, just out of interest, is fortune, so that's why the two of them get along fabulously. Her secondary is knowledge, though. Okay, so yeah, that's this household. All right, so this building has its parking area in the front, and then over here it has entrance into a hallway. On the one side you have the kind of recreation area, and you have a nice area here, the fountain and some seating. And on this side you have the kitchen and dining area. Both sides have stairs going up, and again stairs going up over here. On this side you have 2 bathrooms, 2 single bedrooms. On this side, 2 bathrooms, 2 single bedrooms. And over here also a bedroom to share, bathrooms, and a bedroom to share. Right, so there's plenty of space in this dormitory. I should add that what I'm planning to do, I have some playables that have relationships with sims that are townies. So those townies I will graduate with cheats so that they can, be done with their studies at the same time. It doesn't make sense that they would be that much younger, So I would be changing that. All right, so Alan, he's the eldest of the triplets. So he is engaged to Asha Gupta from the Indian themed family that I have in the main neighborhood. And they were dating since they were teens. So it was kind of, they were a match from the beginning. Nice couple. She had interesting ones related to other people, including his one brother over here, and I was kind of offended by it. I felt like, what was wrong with her? But I take it just as, if you're dating someone since you were a teen, you never dated anyone else, this person was your first kiss and all that, maybe you would wonder, are you making the right choice, or were you supposed to date a few other people before making your choice, But anyway, that went away quite quickly, so, I'm not going to wonder about that too much. All right, he is a knowledge sim. He wants to be a game designer. His story was always that he's fixing everyone's computers in the neighborhood, making mods for games and things like that, and he was well known for that, even as a teenager. So he's a mathematics major, and yeah, he's got a lot of friends. He can't stand Ralph Simpson, the cow mascot, which I don't blame him because what a jerk. So yeah, that's him. Okay, then his girlfriend Asha, very pretty sim, and she wants to graduate 3 kids from college, and yeah, she's really, as you can see, like her and Alan are really meant for each other. So the ones that she wrote about his brothers and stuff was kind of silly because she doesn't even have a lot of chemistry with them. So I felt like that was kind of stupid. Sorry. She also really dislikes Ralph Simpson. Not a fan at all of him. And she is studying psychology. Charlie is he is engaged, not engaged, just in love with Audrey Langley, which is one of our playables. So he will be cheated into into finishing up with university if they end up staying together. And he wants to become a media magnate, so work at the paper, I guess. He's an art major. Chris Connors wants to be, he also has this really tough thing to try to fulfill. 10 hobby clubs, secret society, have best friends in each. Okay, he's engaged to Vivian Holloway that we already met. He's an art major. And then we have Francois Fernandez, knowledge sim, who wants to gain 5 gold badges. He's an economics major. He will probably have his own business. I have a business ready there in the main neighborhood. And he is very much in love with Irma Salo. So yeah, the two of them make a nice couple. She's also a knowledge sim, and she wants to be media magnate. So there's a lot of sims that want to work at the newspaper, clearly. And she's a physics major. And yeah, there's not much to say about them. Nice couple. Then Lavina Most. So she's a knowledge sim who wants to max out all her skills. She's engaged to Mdana Inawale. And she's a biology major. And yeah, all's well there. Okay. So that's this household. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this. This was my little update on on my neighborhood. I'm having a lot of fun playing this. And yeah, if you ever do download this neighborhood for some reason, please share with me what happened. I would love to see how everything turned out in your neighborhood or your version of this neighborhood. And as always, be blessed, happy simming, and see you guys again soon. Goodbye.